All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So another Jets training camp practice is officially in the books. And by the way, tomorrow's the green and white scrimmage matchup, so it's always a cool, a little event that the Jets always throw. But I'm hoping this go round they actually stream it. I remember last year they didn't, but whether it's on their website, their YouTube channel, wherever it may be, I think it would be pretty awesome because, there's definitely a lot of Jets fans outside of the, outside of the area that would love to tune in. And they've also streamed it in previous years. I remember me and my brother watched it, I think, a couple years back to back. Anyway, that's what I'm hoping for. But before we dive into this practice, there's actually a couple, two bits of information, two little bits of news here that I wanted to cover. First, the Jets are bringing in linebacker coach from Toledo, Pat Bastian, or Bastian. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his last name, but he was with Western Kentucky last season. He was with Marshall the season before that. Interestingly enough, Marshall had the #1 ranked defense in opposing points per game, and Stephon Gilmore's little brother, is actually a starting cornerback for Marshall, and in that 2020 season, he was first team All-Conference USA. So he's been around, right? He's worked with linebackers, he's worked with corners, but here's where it gets really intriguing. The Jets are bringing him on as an offensive assistant. Okay, so he's switching sides of the football. I do think it's smart as far as just from a coach's perspective, you to work on both sides of the football, to have that on your resume. It's really, really important, and you also kind of have a leg up because you know what linebackers are thinking, you know the drills, you know what corners are thinking, you know coverages, everything like that. It's not like you're only have knowledge on one side of the football, and if that's the case, that's not a bad thing by any means. But whenever you have experience on both sides of the football, it just kind of gives you a little bit of a leg up. So anyway, the Jets are bringing him onto the staff. Another bit of news: Jeremy Ruckert and Tevin Coleman, they're both activated, okay, and they both participated today. Now, one of the bigger storylines that we've heard through camp is that the defensive line has looked absolutely fantastic. Carl Lawson, Quinnen Williams, Sheldon Rankin, Solomon Thomas, Bryce Huff, Tim Ward. I mean, all of these guys are getting in the backfield. Okay, that trend continued today. John Franklin Myers had a sack, Zuniga had a sack, Jermaine Johnson had another one, but Carl Lawson stole the show. Dennis Waszak actually reported that on 3 straight plays, Carl Lawson was in the backfield. Rich Samini reported on this as well, where he said that pretty much all day Lawson was having pressure, he was having success off the edge, and yes, Lawson is coming off of a missed season, right? Big time injury here, but with that said, there's still so much responsibility on Carl Lawson's plate. He's on the pretty sizable deal. He's still the most talented defensive lineman on this team. This system calls for pressure from your front, forward, down lineman. So to hear that Carl Lawson kind of looks like his old self, right? Because if we rewind back to last year at this point, he was lighting up offensive linemen. He lit up Green Bay in the small joint practice, a couple days that they had up until Lawson got hurt. So to hear and to see that Lawson's looking like his former self, that is, it's incredible. Now, overall, it looks like the offense had a bad day, according to multiple Jet beat reporters here. And to be honest, it's not like super shocking because, again, we talked about the defensive line success, but supposedly there were multiple interceptions on the day. And Joe Flacco's been a really, really hot, interesting name so far throughout these practices. He's looked really good. There's zip on the football. He's commanding the offense. He knows where to go with the football. He's just been that veteran presence. And, we've raved about him like time and time again, him being a former Super Bowl champion, him being a great backup to Zach Wilson. If something were to happen to Zach Wilson, I feel 1000% comfortable putting Flacco into the lineup and him having success, him moving the chains, him putting the football in the end zone, scoring points. I feel good about that. But today, he wasn't walking on water. He came back down to earth. 2 interceptions, one to Hamza Najaldeen, one to Will Parks. As much as I love Joe Flacco, at this point, he's not a top 5, top 10 quarterback. Of course, he's going to go out there and have a couple of, down moments. He's going to have a couple interceptions from time to time. I'm not too worried about it. Although supposedly he did have a nice touchdown pass later in the day. Now, as far as Zach Wilson goes, he was up and down, had some good throws. was rushed a lot, obviously. I mean, again, we keep on bringing up the defensive line here, but it seems like when Zach Wilson wasn't rushed, when he wasn't getting sacked or pressured, the throws and catches are there. It's just a little tough because these practices aren't televised or streamed or anything like that. So I think joint practices is going to be huge for Zach Wilson's development. I think we're really going to get a fair, clear, honest look at where Wilson stands when he starts going up. Well, of course, the first preseason game against Philly, but beyond that, in a practice type of setting against Atlanta, those 2 days are going to be huge. And then, of course, the game against the Falcons, and then more joint practices against the Giants, and then that preseason game. So I think those joint practice sessions, excuse me, are going to be huge to see a fair assessment or to see where Zach Wilson stands. Now, it seems like there were a couple fights, right? A couple like little skirmishes from today's practice. Now, nothing like too crazy. I don't think anybody got kicked out or, is going to be released because of it. Nothing like that, but something that stuck out to me regarding Mekhi Becton and George Fant that both Connor Hughes and Zach Rosenblatt pointed out, they were both wearing knee braces, and in Salah's, post-practice presser, kind of a mouthful, he said that there was, Mekhi Becton was feeling a little bit of discomfort in his knee. He's not hurt or anything like that, just a little discomfort, so he's going with the brace. Obviously, and we've said this time and time again, I want the Jets to play it safe than sorry. If Becton is feeling a little discomfort, maybe we can ease off of him a little bit. Maybe the brace works. Maybe it takes away some of the discomfort. So, whatever works, whatever gets the job done, as long as these two tackles are healthy and ready to go by the start of the season, I'm okay with it. But ideally, I would want that third backup swing tackle. There's guys out there, Brandon Shell, Eric Fisher, Darrell Williams. Like, there are guys out there that the Jets could bring in. Granted, the Jets have spent a lot of money. They obviously drafted a bunch of players. The cap space isn't what it was, but we still have enough. We still have enough money to go out and add at least one more guy here. Riley Reif I was interested in, but that contract that he signed in Chicago was huge. I think it was way too much money for me personally, so I get not wanting to go down that route. But it's the Jets had interest in a couple guys here. Reif, Ogunjobi, Quan Alexander. We brought in Alexander, but that was only for $1 million. So they can do something here. It's not set in stone, I don't believe. And by the way, we have this whole waiver period as well where guys are going to be cut, guys are going to be possibly traded. We'll see. There's been some talks about maybe Tevin Jenkins getting moved. We'll see how, we'll see what happens there. Maybe a Dillard from Philadelphia. Who knows? Who knows how it all plays out? But I want the Jets to address that third backup tackle position. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And as always, go Jets.